Okay, let's move on to section 2.8, and this is going to be dealing with functions, multiple functions, but you're applying operations to those functions. So operations as such as plus, minus, multiplication, division on functions. So examples, just like page 275, has a nice table there to depict this. So let's just rehash it real quick. So f plus g of x, that's saying you're adding two different functions, function f and function g, with a value of x as x in this case. But this could be written as, your x could be 1. So what does that mean? You're going to plug in 1 for x inside the function of f and the function of g, and then you're going to add them together. So you can break this down as f of x plus, whoops, that's supposed to be g of x. So in this case, if our x was 1, you would simply have f of 1 plus g of 1. So like I said, you would just plug in 1 for x in whatever this function was, and then you would do the same thing for your g function g, and you would just add your outcomes together. So if we had f minus g of x, it's simply the same thing basically, except you're going to subtract them. Okay. Same thing with multiplication, really. If you have f times g of x, you would have f of x times g of x. Okay. And as you guessed it, division's next. So if we had f divided by g of x, this is simply going to be, you're going to take f of x and you're going to divide it. You're going to take the outcome of f of x and divide it by the outcome of g of x. So this is pretty, just general description of each one of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now let's look at a couple examples. So if we had our f of x was equal to, let's say, 3x minus 4, and our g of x was equal to 2x squared minus 1. If we had these two different functions, f and g, and we wanted to find, let's do addition first. F plus g, to make it simple, of 0. Again, so this here is normally where x would be. So we're just going to plug in 0 for x in each one of these. So again, we can rewrite this as f of 0 plus g of 0. Now let's do the legwork. So f of 0 is 3 times 0 minus 4. Well, this is going to be 0. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Now the legwork for the function g. So we have 2 times 0 squared minus 1. Well, 0 squared is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1, that's just going to give you a negative 1. So now we have, again, f of 0 plus g of 0. So we've got negative 4 is our outcome for f of 0, and we're going to add the outcome of g of 0, which is negative 1. So this breaks down to negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 5. So that's your final answer. Let's do another one. One second. Sorry, I just wanted to pause it so you guys weren't watching me erase, which sometimes takes a while. With this pen, that is. So now we did addition, let's do subtraction. Let's not make it 0, let's do something a little more challenging, actual constant. Let's do 4. So again, you can break this down as f of 4 minus g of 4. And we'll come down here and we'll do the legwork for each one of the functions. So f of 4, you just plug in 4 for x, so you have 3 times 4 minus 4. 3 times 4 is 12, 12 minus 4, 8. So now we're going to look at the function g, and we're going to plug in 4 for x. So we've got 2 times 4 squared minus 1. So 4 squared, 16, times 2, 32, minus 1, 31. So now we're going to take each one of these outcomes and basically plug them in where they belong. So the outcome of f of 4 was 8. Again, this minus sign is just going to move over here. The outcome for g of 4 was 31. So we've got 8 minus 31. So we simply have, we're going to have a negative outcome, and it's going to be negative 23. So hopefully that's straightforward. Again, basically all you're doing is figuring out what this is and this, and then just performing whatever this operation is right there. You know, negative or subtract, addition, multiplication, or division. So let me erase this one more time. Okay, so we've done addition and subtraction. Let's do multiplication. So we have, let's do a negative number this time. Let's do negative 2. So again, the same thing. Let's break this down as such. Now let's do the legwork down here. Okay, so now we're going to take negative 2 and plug it in for x in the function of f. So we have 3 times negative 2 minus 4. So 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 4, we have negative 10. Okay, now we're going to the function g, and we're going to plug in negative 2 for x. So we've got 2 times negative 2 squared minus 1. So negative 2 squared is a positive 4. Positive 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. Now again, you just plug in these values for, plug them in where they go. So the outcome of f of negative 2 was negative 10. And we're going to multiply that by the outcome of g of negative 2, which was 7. So negative 10 times 7, negative 7. Okay, let's squeeze one more on this record. Okay, let's do the last operation, which is division. So if we had f divided by g of 3, we could rewrite this simply as f of 3 divided by g of 3. Again, we'll come down here and do our legwork for each one of the functions. Oops, it's supposed to be g. And we're just plugging 3 in for x, so we have 3 times 3 minus 4, so that's 9 minus 4, 5. Plugging in 3 for x with respect to the g function, so we've got 2 times 3 squared minus 1. So it's going to be 9 times 2, which is 18. 18 minus 1 is 17. So now we just plug these, again, we just plug them back in for where they belong. So the outcome of f of 3, that was 5, divided by the outcome of g of 3, which was 17. We can't simplify this fraction any further, not very nicely at least, so we'll just leave it like that.